And we see all these images of what we should look like and what standards should be in place for us. But at the core of it, what are your values and what is your vision? What are your values and what is your vision? And everything you do should be in alignment with that.
Hey, this is Dr. Barrett. Thanks for joining us on the Real Health Podcast. My passion is to help equip you with information that can change your life, the health of your life, and the health of your families. I'm a board-certified chiropractic physician with a passion and emphasis in nutrition and sleep and how to biohack the body to get to a greater level of health. Thanks for listening in to the Real Health Podcast.
Hey, before we jump into today's episode, do me a favor. If you like this episode and you like hearing from Dr. B, share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram. We're really trying to get this health movement out. So without further ado, let's get to today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of the Real Health Podcast with Dr. B. I've got Dr. B here today, and we're going to continue our series on alternatives to intermittent fasting. Had a lot of good feedback with it, and I know that last week's episode on alternate day fasting was it was a good one, and I can't wait to hear what he has to say about this one. And actually, I'm going to ask you to do this live on the air. Do you care to lift up this table that we're sitting on?
I think it's as high as it goes. Hold on. We
have a little standing desk in our. Okay, that's too high. I'm not that tall.
It's on my nose.
It's not that tall. Standing desk. Well, hey, let me answer this question. Why should people, if they sit all day, look into a standing desk?
Oh, just posturally, it engages muscles, helps you burn more fat, increases metabolism, creates more mental awareness and clarity, gains some strength in your lower extremities, feet. So there's a lot of benefits. Yeah,
I learned
sitting is sitting posture. Excessive sitting at a desk is actually termed sitting disease now. Yeah. So you look at this syndrome or this group of symptoms related to sitting too long, and its effects are as great as smoking cigarettes.
Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about excessive sitting, like sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day, man. And then if you sleep 8 hours a day and you sit at a desk for 8 hours a day, there's not too much time you got there. And if you're driving in a car and sitting and eating lunch and sitting and eating breakfast, sitting and eating dinner, just think about how much time you're actually moving. So that's why we always give our patients a step count goal. We say, hey, we want you to hit at least 10,000 steps a day, because that means you're actually moving your body. And honestly, if people aren't doing 10,000 steps a day, then get your butt out of the gym. Don't just like. Sorry, I should say, don't complain about like not working out. Don't complain about not losing weight. You should start off before you make excuses of not going to the gym. You should start off with at least hitting like 10,000 steps a day.
That's so good.
Oh, it's simple. Health is simple. I was talking to a patient the other day, and I said, "Hey, listen, I know you want to experience health, and here's an area that we can definitely work on." We were talking about for her being specific to heavy metal detoxification. Okay, and promoting healthy glutathione levels. And then over here, I was like, but if you're expecting these nutraceuticals, these supplements, and this protocol to heal you, you're missing the boat. Because if you're not sleeping 7-8 hours a night, if you're not hydrating, if you're not moving your body, if you're not being mindful of breath and stress, if your spiritual life is not in order, well, you're going to blame this protocol, when in reality, we can look to your foundational pillars, which we started at the beginning of the year, and we could say, hey, these foundational pillars are so off balance, it's not going to hold up a foundation for you to detox, to support this healing.
That's good.
So don't come to me, and that's why these functional medicine consults, a lot of times, it's a waste of my time, because it's like, hey, are you eating clean? Are you Whole30, paleo? Are you avoiding allergenic inflammatory foods? Are you sleeping? Are you modulating your stress? Are you moving your body? Are you hydrating? Do you have healthy relationships? And if those things are not in order, listen, save your money. Don't do a lab test. Don't see a physician. Get these things taken care of first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I hear you.
And because this takes work, then people don't want to do it, and then they expect a test and a box of pills to fix them. It's a broken system. And that's where it doesn't matter if it's a pharmaceutical or a natural supplement. It's still the same mindset, this allopathic mindset of treating disease with a pill, potion, lotion, shot, or surgery. It's never going to work for you. Establish your foundational pillars, and then over here, anything you do will enhance what you've already established.
That's another episode of the Real Health Podcast with Dr. B. No, that's so good. I'll share too, right now in this season, that just with work and family and everything, I have actually taken a step back from the gym. And we'll probably go maybe 2 to 3 times a week, because that's just I would try to go 5 to 6 times a week, and by the end of the week I was exhausted because I was more worried about just stepping into the gym and I wasn't even getting anything done.
That's good.
So it's like, okay, I'll go 2 to 3 times a week. Every day I'll go on a long walk with the family, but I could arguably say I'm in the best shape that I've been in a very long time.
Well, again, we live in a society where we see on Instagram, on TikTok. Okay, I don't even know all the platforms. And we see all these images of what we should look like and what standards should be in place for us. But at the core of it, what are your values and what is your vision? What are your values and what is your vision? And everything you do should be in alignment with that. So here's the difference: your vision and values could be where your current like we do body fat compositions analysis here to look at where they're at and where they're going. And hey, someone at 20% and someone at 15% body fat could be in perfect alignment with their vision and values, and therefore be totally satisfied with their current state. You can be dissatisfied at 5%, and you can be dissatisfied at 35%. You can be satisfied at 25%, and you can be satisfied at 10%. And so we're caught up in the number. What's the scale look like? What's my body fat percentage? And yes, those things are important to a degree. But at the same time, if our vision and values aren't in alignment with what we're doing, then there's going to be friction. And that friction is going to create this sense of, I need more, I'm not doing enough. And this idea of, hey, I need to just keep up with the Joneses and I need to keep up with the Graham. And that's just not, it's not going to lead to satisfaction. It's okay to be a mom in a stressed out season at 20% body fat, getting to the gym twice a week, walking every day. Like, that may be your enough, because right now all you're focused on is nurturing your babies, right? It may be okay for a man who's working hard, who's on a hard season at his job, to be putting in enough time where it is detracting a little bit from his fitness. And instead of being 12%, 11% shredded, he's 16, 17%, and he's satisfied. It's okay. What's the vision and values for your life in this season? And is what you're doing in alignment with that? And if so, guess what? You're going to be satisfied. And if you're not satisfied, then assess, hey, what is my vision and values? For me, it always goes to longevity and anti-aging. That is the direction lane I think you and I always want to head towards, is how can I live longer, the longer, healthiest version of my life. I want to age well and suffer strong. So I need to make sure that I'm doing intermittent fasting and fasting protocols, that I'm eating anti-inflammatory, that I'm keeping my nutrition super clean, that I am hydrated, that I'm sleeping well. And then I'm training enough to support all of that. Not training to the point of being injured, but training to support anti-aging longevity. I'm not going to be 220 pounds, massive muscles. It's just not for my body type. It's not what I want. I want to play some golf, right? I want to train a little bit. I want to run a little bit. I want to be able to do just about anything I want to do without pain.
That's so good. I mean, I don't really know how we got down that path, but I think that's so important for people to understand that everyone has different values, and what you see online is not necessarily what you have to be and what you have to do. And it can be, if you're listening to this and you continue to compare yourself to people online and that just doesn't align with what season you're in, I release you in that, because
it's good.
Whatever is meant for you, you will know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been so many times that in the beginning when I really did take a step back and I was like, you know what, right now I value longer walks with my family. My son's 21 months old, and it's like, why would I rush to the gym, like I was saying earlier, just to say I stepped into the gym?
Yeah.
Check
a box.
Yeah, just to check a box. And there's been less stress in my life. I've slept better.
Mm-hmm.
My workouts are better because I'm not always so tired and sore from the previous day.
Yeah.
And so it's aligned with what season I'm in. That's what it is.
We always talk about it. You'll never be satisfied looking in the mirror. There's never good enough.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard aesthetically to look at your body and say, "Hey, I'm perfect." It's just not going to happen. Yeah. You have hair loss. You have a pimple. You have too much fat. You don't have enough muscle. You are too short. You are too tall. You're too skinny. You're too fat. And so it's never good enough. And that's why our hope is not in our body, and our hope is not in this world. Our hope is in Christ and Christ alone. He's the only one that can give us satisfaction in this world where there is no hope. We don't have hope in our bodies because they're not going to live forever. We don't have hope in our food because it is toxic. We don't have hope in our government. We don't have hope in our whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's where it's so important that at the core of all of this health stuff is, are you satisfied in Christ? And if you're not, search him out. Find him. He is, I love Scripture. I stand at the door and knock. If anyone opens it, I'll come in and dine with him. He's knocking on our hearts. And a lot of times I've seen him, he'll allow disease and dysfunction to get the best of us, to break us to where we need and can be satisfied in him and him alone. And so don't make your health an idol. It's important, but at the core of it, our hope is in Christ.
That's so good. And we did, again, back to the beginning of the year, we did a whole series that I think that if you're new to this podcast, that series would be really good. And we actually had a whole episode on spiritual too, which I think added a lot of value to people. So let's get into some of the meat what we just went over in 11 minutes was really good. And I know that was not really planned. And so we can still touch to the meat of what you wanted to speak to today as far as intermittent fasting and alternatives. So,
well, it gives people an alternative to maybe a classic 16-8 where they fast for 16 hours, they feed for 8 hours. Mm-hmm. We would call that time-restricted feeding. The classic name for that is intermittent fasting, but really it's time-restricted feeding. Mm-hmm. Yes, last episode we went over alternate day fasting as an alternative to a intermittent fast type of different variety. A little bit harder to stick to potentially. And then today is probably the easiest of the IF types, intermittent fasting types, and that is a 1 meal a day, or we call it OMAD, and it's also at some level been labeled a warrior diet.
So it's called, what'd you say, OMAD?
OMAD, 1 meal a day.
Okay.
And you may see it as warrior diet. Mm-hmm. And so this is a type of intermittent fast. And when we talk through intermittent fasting, again, listen to the previous episode or listen to our fasting episodes. Don't touch the hot mic, Lane. Come on.
I'll learn.
And it's the same story, right? It's designed to help with insulin resistance, leptin resistance, which is hormonal resistance. It's designed to improve cardiovascular markers, triglycerides, cholesterol levels. It's designed to improve blood glucose spikes and where we get on this roller coaster ride of our blood sugar issues. Mm-hmm. It's designed to promote weight loss and breakthrough weight loss resistance.
So I was going to ask, I know the last time when we talked about alternate day fasting, you had shared that this is for someone that was trying to break through weight loss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same thing here. And I'll talk about, maybe next thing is we'll talk about who shouldn't be doing this. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it can help with weight loss resistance. Okay. Again, because at the core of weight loss resistance for most people, it's insulin resistance. So it's a metabolic disease, And but it's important to note. It's important to note that in any of these intermittent fasting protocols, okay, it's very important to note that if you're like type 1 diabetic, this is not a good option for you. Okay, if you are already hypocaloric, if you're already under eating, this is not a good option for you. Okay, this is not a great option for those that are already starving their bodies, and so it's also important for you to realize that this is not specifically like, hey, I'm just eating a couple hundred calories a day.
Yeah.
You're eating all of your calories in a window of 1 to 4 hours, depending upon how you want to treat it. You can either treat it as a 20-4, 20 hours of fasting, 4 hours of feeding, or a 23-1, 23 hours of fasting, 1 hour of feeding. So it's important to note that it's not like you eat a piece of chicken and a little bit of rice. Okay, no, you are trying to slam down 1,000, 1,500, potentially 2,000 calories. Yeah, in a window of 4 hours.
Sheesh.
One of the first really people in the performance world that was doing this was Rich Froning. He a lot of times, back 10 years ago, like, hey, what do you do for your nutrition? And he's like, I just eat, not the way I would promote it.
I remember,
but like it's like a pizza, a bunch of food in this like couple hour window, and he would just do pretty much protein shakes, amino acids during the day, and he would train 4 or 5 times. And so, that warrior diet is that idea of eating within this 4 hour window. And it's very difficult to get that many calories in. So you're going to need a lot of clean, healthy fats because they're going to give you that higher caloric density. And also at the foundation of all this is a kind of a paleo whole food type mindset. Okay. We're not slamming down dirty foods in those 1 to 4 hours. We're eating clean. But if we eat clean, okay, and we step into a OMAD or warrior diet, then we do get some really cool changes to our metabolic system. Our insulin resistance, our leptin resistance, our hormonal system is less. Our hormonal system is less resistant. Our cells are less resistant to hormones. We do create autophagy. We do create this cleanup effect. We reduce inflammation. All these wonderful things can and do happen, but it has to be applied with a foundation of healthy nutrition, healthy food. It has to be applied in the right setting, the right person, and you have to be sufficient in your calories. Those are requirements in order for it to happen. And when you do that, it can make a massive difference.
So what's important for people to understand if they want to partake in this specific fast? Or if they want to continue to do it? I mean, like, what would you say next is the most important thing for people to know?
Well, one is you don't have to do it every day. It can be just a 1 day a week deal too.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
It's technically is a 24. It can be a 24, almost like a 24-hour fast for you.
Okay.
Where you're just learning how to fast. How if you go a meal or 2 meals, okay, without eating, and you're getting shaky, irritable, right? If you're getting like lightheaded. Let me just tell you, you have a problem with your blood glucose levels. Mm-hmm. There's a significant metabolic issue happening. You should be able to fast.
You've said that before on an episode that like the way to test it.
The way to test it.
Yeah, the way to test it. I
skip a meal, skip 2 meals.
And see how you feel.
If you're angry, if you're irritable, shaky, if you get anxious, if you get lightheaded, you have a metabolic issue. Okay, so
I think what's difficult for me, so I didn't want to interrupt, but I just thought about this. I think what's difficult for me is when you do hear individuals that say, I can't fast. I'm miserable. Like I would never be able to fast. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, well, you haven't even tried.
Right.
And it's just like
selling yourself short already.
Yeah. And
this is a good way to help you learn how to start fasting. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when I'm in a more feeding season, I'll do this once a week where I'll just eat 1 meal a day, 1 day per week. You can do it to where I probably wouldn't do an OMAD, like an intermittent fasting protocol. In general, I probably wouldn't do it more than 90 days. Just like I wouldn't go keto more than 90 days, or I wouldn't go carnivore more than 90 days, or I wouldn't go vegan more than 90 days. You really, after a couple months, 2-3 months, you're really going to create some issues within your body that you're going to have to change up. Your body's incredibly adaptive. And so you want to obviously be fluctuating your nutrition based on how your metabolism's responding. So it's very important. That's why you want to work with a practitioner. This isn't just like, hey, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. You potentially could. You could if you do it right.
Yeah.
Just like you can do carnivore right. You can do. You can be a vegan and do it right. You can do these things and do it right. But again, very, very, very few people can actually do these protocols that are as polarizing, as drastic as the kind of ends of the spectrum type protocols can do it well over a long period of time. When somebody tells me they're carnivore, I'm like, tell me what you're doing. And they're like, I'm just eating steak and red meat. I'm like, I wouldn't call, like, are you eating organ meats? Are you eating marrow? Are you eating bone? Are you doing fish? Are you, And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, well, then you're just eating a bunch of red meat. Okay. So, you may get shredded. You may get some changes, but again,
I know people like that.
I do too. And but over time, you're going to create issues. You're going to create nutritional imbalances. So I always go back to the core of your nutrition should be whole foods. You should be whole foods. Okay. You can look at these people that scream vegan and the people that scream carnivore, but at the core of it, in the middle, you're just not going to get away from paleo or Whole30. That is your healing nutrition. Mm-hmm. So these are great protocols for a short period of time to help train your body and teach your body and learn how to fast and maybe cut down some extra pounds and hey, it's really time efficient. You eat one meal a day. You talk about saving some time. You're going to save some time eating one meal a day. And so there's a lot of good things that can come out of it, but you got to just, again, take any of these intermittent fasting protocols. You got to take them with, hey, does it align with your vision values? And are you being accountable to someone? Is someone coaching you through it?
Timing of it. I mean, I know that one of my questions would be, timing of, for me, my mind goes, and I'm sure probably the listeners goes to it as well. It's like, I'll come home and eat from work late at night, but also my mind's like, well, that's not good.
No, actually the best.
Breakfast?
Yeah.
I figured it would.
Best studies show best time of day is eat all that nutrition the first thing of the day. Oh, because then you're just using it up when you're actually active, so that when you sleep, you're sleeping in a autophagy state. You're sleeping in a fasted state, and that will help improve heart rate variability, improve heart rate, keep your core body temperature low, which helps you sleep deeper. I mean, gosh, the list goes on. If you want to ruin your sleep, if you're like, hey, I'm not sleeping well, I got an Oura ring, I'm like, hey, my heart rate variability is bad, my deep sleep's bad, you're eating too late. So that's one. Here's another little tip for you. Okay, eating too late, you're sleeping in too warm of climate. So drop your temperature like 65 degrees. Sleep colder.
Did you hear that, Chelsea? My wife. Turn a fan on, put it on directly on your face.
Exactly right. Get a little chili pad.
Ooh, yes. I love that thing. Yes.
And so those things will help get your deep sleep. So actually eating earlier in the day is better.
So my mind goes to, if I'm going to do a one-day meal, it would most likely be a Saturday morning. Just
there you go.
Eat a ton of food, and that'd be
right.
awesome.
Okay. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Anything else that's important for the listeners either to know logistically about it, that you get questions and or do's and don'ts?
No, but I would tell you, look at any of the fasting podcasts that we've done in the past or intermittent fasting podcasts we've done in the past, and you'll get a little bit more full spectrum of the do's, don'ts, the why behind it. Why do you fast, or why do you do prolonged intermittent fasting? Yeah,
and I tell you, going back to the sleep, if you want to have some good sleep, go to bed in a fasted state, because it's some of the best sleeps, which is, again, counterintuitive to what the world will tell you, but it's a fantastic
Well, again,
sleep.
This dispels the myth that you have to eat multiple times a day, 5 times a day to improve metabolism. what you're doing is you're constantly spiking your insulin. Long term, that shows it is not anti-aging, it is aging. You want to age yourself, you spike your insulin. It's simple science. You're creating an anabolic effect consistently. You're releasing a ton of insulin growth factor 1 and IGF-1. You do that, and guess what? You will, over time, you'll age yourself faster. Intermittent fasting is reverse aging. It is anti-aging. It halts the aging process. It causes your body to go through a cleanup mode. It aligns with my vision and values. Therefore, that's why I do it a lot.
Yeah, it's so good. This is an awesome episode. The first little bit I know added a ton of value, and it started with the question of a stand-up desk. So make sure you go get a stand-up desk and start living optimally.
Let's go.
Thanks so much for listening, guys. Make sure you go and, again, share this. Follow us on Instagram. If you have questions for Dr. B, then you can shoot us a message. If you want any future episodes, any recommendations, make sure you do that. And we will see you on the next episode of the Real Health Podcast with Dr. B. See you, man.
See you, dude.
Before you hit X, hold on 1 second. Hey, thanks so much for listening to the podcast today with Dr. B. 2 things that would really help the Real Health Podcast movement. 1, share it on your social media, your Facebook, your Instagram, wherever you're on a social network. And 2, if you go to Apple Podcast and you scroll down, give us a 5-star rating and give us a review. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you next episode.